Do you have a roster of people you're dating? What is the most cringiest thing you have said or done on a date? You ever let a guy Oh my god! Hey all, it's Ilana and welcome back to my channel. So this has been a video I've been waiting to do for a while now, and I'm finally sitting down to filming it, but I'm going to be doing a truth or a drink about my dating and sex life. Y'all sent me a ton of questions on Instagram, so thank you very much for sending me them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and spill some tea about my dating life, and then maybe also avoid some of your questions that maybe I don't want to answer. Cheers, and let's drink up. So my choice of alcohol is this cider that I bought a few weeks ago at the Portland Holiday Bazaar. It is the Peak White Cider in Early Red. I didn't have any liquor, but I will be drinking like half a glass for every single question that I drink to. So this is really good. Definitely recommend it if you're in Portland. Let's start off with question number 1. Mild or wild? All right, we are starting off spicy. So I like to say mild at first and then straight up wild for the remainder of your time being with me. All right, so that was a pretty easy question. I'm fine with answering that. Let's go to the next one. Most awkward experience in bed. I'm trying to think. Okay, I'm okay answering this one. So there was this guy that I was actually hooking up with over the summer, and he was just too damn quiet. And when I was pleasing him, he's just laying there like a dead fish, dead quiet, no response to what I'm doing to him whatsoever. There's no reaction. He's just pinching my arm, and I'm asking like him, does this feel good? And he's just like, yeah, but you're not showing me that it feels good. Oh, it was so uncomfortable. Like we were not sexually compatible at all. And the session just kept getting progressively awkward and awkward. And I knew that I just really did not want to hook up with this man ever again because it was just such a bad experience. Are there any exes you would get back together with, and why? No, I only have one ex. He's married with a baby. I have completely moved on from that, and I'm glad that he broke up with me. We were not right for each other. Have you had better luck dating in San Francisco or Portland? Ooh, so that's a good question. So I really do want to make a video about what dating in Portland has taught me, and that video will come out in the new year. So what I will say is that I've dated more guys in San Francisco, but then again, I was also there for like 4 years. But dating in Portland is also a new breed of really hard. I've only been in Portland for about a year, and I have started going out with 4 or 5 guys within my first year, but it's been really hard to even get dates in Portland. But I will say the men here are a lot nicer and have far more personality than the guys in SF. Have you ever slept with more than 20 people? Oh god, it's fizzy. All right, bottoms up. Yeah, nobody needs to know the answer to that question. Let's move on. You ever let a guy Oh my god. I will admit, I've never done the backdoor activities before. I'm not quite comfortable doing that yet. Maybe like when I'm married. I know that sounds so purity culture like, but I don't think I would be comfortable doing backdoor activities until I have like an actual stable, consistent partner, and then maybe I'll consider it then. What is the most cringiest thing you have said or done on a date? Ooh, that's actually a really good question. I need to think about that for a second. Okay, I do have one. It may not be the juiciest story, but it was pretty cringy. I just feel like I know how to act right on a date. But when I was in San Francisco and I was on contest prep, I was maybe about a few weeks before my show was gonna happen, and this was for my first show. I went out with this guy and we were at the View Lounge, and when you are very deep into contest prep, your mood can be completely terrible. And I was hangry, and it was really hard to go on dates to begin with. And I just remember how negative I was when it came to conversations. I just kept talking about myself, kept talking about my job, how much I hated my job, how much I was tired of eating a keto diet for my first show. It was just negative, 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 negative. And I just felt so bad for being completely negative. I think it makes sense as to why this guy never contacted me again. So moral of the story, don't be negative and only just talk about how much your life sucks when you're on a date, because it's probably gonna turn the person off. I know that was not the best example, but that's like the only thing that I could really think of, because I feel like I haven't done too many cringy things, but that one was definitely pretty bad. Ever call out the wrong name during sex? I have not, but what I have done is I did call out my ex's name to my rebound when we were making out. Yeah, that's a pretty big yikes. That's pretty cringy. I mean, that wasn't really a date, we were just making out, but that's really cringy and pretty bad. Would you break up with a guy if his didn't satisfy you? Damn! I don't even know how to answer this question. I'm just gonna drink to this, I'm sorry. I don't know. Bottoms up. Wow, that was a lot of alcohol. Let's go on to the next question. What is your body count? Really? I just drank. Why are y'all so interested in how many people I've slept with? Nothing good ever comes out of that conversation, ever. Bottoms up again. Whew. Is it hot in here or is it just me? Most uncomfortable date. Okay. I can answer this one. I've told this story on my channel before, but I'll tell it again in case you missed it. So it was 2 weeks after I turned 28 and I did a speed dating event in San Francisco. I wasn't really feeling any of the guys that I met except for this one guy who I felt like I somewhat hit it off with. And keep in mind, I was drinking and it was a little dark. Definitely prevented me from seeing whether or not the guy was attractive or not. And so I ended up matching with him. And then he asked me out and we went on a date. So we were gonna meet up in North Beach because North Beach is such a romantic neighborhood in San Francisco. And first we wanted to take some espresso shots. And as we were drinking espresso, we were talking about college and he told me how he graduated college a very long time ago. And I asked him, well, how long was a long time ago? And I can't remember when he said it was. I think it was somewhere in the 90s. And I asked him, how old are you? And he goes, I'm 42. And I like nervously bursted out laughing because I have never gone out with a guy that much older than me. So I was feeling a little uneasy about going on a date with a 42-year-old man. And I also realized like I was not really feeling this guy like I thought I was, but I didn't want to be rude. After we finished our espresso shots, he asked what we wanted to do next. And I said, well, I am pretty hungry. Are you in the mood for some pizza? And he said, yeah, we can get some pizza. So we go to Tony's and we order quite a bit of food. And I'm just trying to make the most out of this conversation, but I'm honestly super fucking uncomfortable at this point because I think I was like judging his age. I'm like, I'm on a date with a 42-year-old man. This man is way too old for me, blah, 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 blah. And we were just not vibing. I was so uncomfortable with the conversation. I just felt like we had nothing in common. I was so uncomfortable. So the date ends and I'm glad that I at least got a free pizza out of it, looking back on it. But then when I got home, I really wanted to reflect and think, Ilana, you were uncomfortable on this date because you didn't have a connection with this man. It had nothing to do with the fact that he was 42. Because Ilana, if you did find this man attractive and if you did have things in common with him and you felt a connection, you wouldn't give two shits. And that's when I realized, oh my God, age really is just a number. With some exceptions. I mean, there are some age gaps that are a little cringier than others. I look back on it now and I realize it had nothing to do with his age and I felt really bad about that. But I mean, he was nice and I thanked him for the dinner at least. But yeah, that was a very uncomfortable date by far. Do you have a roster of people you're dating? Only a roster of what? I'm not gonna get into too much detail because, you know, I don't want to jinx anything, but so far I think it's going well. So yes, I have a roster but just of one person at the moment. How often do you want sex? I'm a Scorpio. I always want sex. How would you compare dating now versus when you were competing? I really like this question. I actually made a video about what it's like to date when you're preparing for a bikini competition. So what I will say right now is dating is definitely a lot better because I don't have to stress about what I'm eating and squeezing in dates around my workout schedule or my eating schedule, and the fact that I'm enjoying my life and my freedom and the flexibility with my diet. Dating on prep, especially when you're in the deep stages of it, is beyond stressful. Your sex drive is just completely gone and you're just always tired, you're cranky, you're hungry. You can't enjoy dates like you would when you're on improvement season because your diet is so restricted, and it definitely limits your activities, and it feels like you can't involve food on your dates, and that creates a lot of strain when you're seeing someone. I was definitely not very successful when I was dating on contest prep. I will be the first to admit that. It's a big challenge for sure, and you definitely want to be going out with people who are going to be supportive of your lifestyle and be understanding of what it is that you're trying to do to better yourself. So make sure that you find people who are going to be supportive of you, because if they're going to judge you for your lifestyle and what you're trying to accomplish within your goals, then that's not somebody you want to go out with. But right now, I am preferring dating at the moment without having to worry about what I want to eat and when I have to work out and when I have to eat my meals. It really is nice and I'm enjoying myself. Have you ever had an experience with a woman? I have not. I am straight and I only date men. I've kissed a woman before, but it was just a peck. It was one of my friends. I don't think that really counts because nothing further than that happened. So I've kissed a woman, but again, it was just a peck and I've never gone anything farther than that. What do you consider the sexiest thing you ever did for someone? Y'all, I'm pretty sure this video is already demonetized at this point, and if I share what I do or what I've done, it's just gonna make this video really get demonetized, so cheers! Y'all, I'm really starting to feel all that cider, and I don't think I'm gonna be feeling good in the next hour. I really hope we're almost out of questions and that I don't have to drink anymore, so let's keep going. Favorite sex position? Okay, I'll answer this one. I really like being on top, and I also really like the side position where we're facing away from one another. There's something just really hot and sexy about that position, and I love it. Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up later. Besides from being a virgin, have you ever gone longer a year without sex? Yes. So I actually had a 4-year dry spell and it was pretty fucking awful. So it started from, I want to say 2012 to 2013 to 2017. So I broke that 4-year dry spell with the first guy that I actually ever went out with in San Francisco in 2017, and the sex was very mediocre, and I'm really mad that's what I broke my 4-year dry spell for. But yeah, I went 4 years without sex once and it was awful. Okay, thank God. Last question, because I don't think I can drink any more cider. Do you have any STIs? And how do you ask a partner if you have them? Oh, that's a good question. As far as I know, I don't have any. I mean, sometimes I might get like a little tiny cold sore here and there, but it's not as serious as other people who really do have like severe herpes. But I usually just sometimes will get like a pimple or a zit or a cold sore on my upper lip, but I don't get anything inside my mouth. Other than that, no, I don't really have any. At least I don't think I do. And the best way to ask a partner if they have them, I mean, I'd say just ask. I mean, I think there's definitely a time and a place where you ask somebody if they've ever been tested for STIs or if there's anything that you should know about when it comes to sex, and will it potentially become harmful for you. I think do it when the time is right, and when you've built some trust, I think that's probably a good time to bring that up. But there's no shame in like asking somebody if they've been tested for it. I think it would be a little rude if you said, so, do you have any STIs? Tell me all about it. There's definitely ways to be tactful when bringing stuff like that up, in my opinion. All right, we are out of questions. This is how much I've killed since this video has started, and I need some Chinese food really badly. I'm filming this on Christmas, and us Jews like to eat Chinese food on Christmas, so that's probably what I'm gonna do. And then I'm probably gonna take a nap and throw up, so that's gonna be a fun time. But if you liked this video, you thought it was enjoyable, make sure you do give it a thumbs up, and y'all, I will see you in my next video. Bye!